7% of our own money. It's a pension plan. 7% of our money plus 7% of employers' money that if they didn't have to contribute would have been part of our compensation. You're not, the government is not giving us anything.
Money's gone.
And not, the money is gone because the government has borrowed so much of it and never paid the Social Security fund back.
The other assumption of this question.
No willingness on part of
No willingness. We are doing the same thing that others. Just like you. And you're speaking again. And you're speaking again.
Yeah, I'll be speaking over me, call me that number, what?
I'm going to stick around, I'm going to talk to...
Yeah, I did say you're
I'm going to talk to Rick and Nick, right?
Excuse me?
You know, there's another important point that you made in your question, and it had to do with the annual budget deficit as a percentage of our economy. And I think that's something we really need to reflect on. The federal budget is $3.7 trillion. That's what it is currently. Revenue is $2.2 trillion. Rick, you're a CPA. $1.5 trillion gap.
42% of everything you vote on is funded through borrowing.
It's borrowed. The gentleman's point is 42 cents out of every dollar spent in Washington is borrowed. Absolutely right. I like to say mostly from the Chinese who are handing the bill to your children and your grandchildren. And that's what I'm against. So it's a $1.5 trillion annual budget deficit, which is 10% of the GDP. Now, you don't have to go back too far, 4 years probably, when the annual budget deficit was 3% of GDP. Where the whole year's budget deficit was equal to February 2011 monthly deficit. February's deficit is larger than the annual budget deficit in 2007, the whole year. How did we get there? Partly, Rick, it's revenue's gone down in a tougher economy, but mainly it was spending driven. Mainly it's growth in the size of the federal government, growth in the appetite of the federal government for your money, and growth in federal programs. Sorry? Okay. But that isn't entirely what happened between 2007 and 2011. That is a part of it. But I say that it's, no matter where it comes from, whether it's Medicare Part D or the wars or the stimulus program or soon to be the president's health care initiative, we're in a debt crisis right now. That debt crisis is spending driven. And so the first obligation, I believe, of the federal government is to look at spending. We need to increase revenues to the federal government. There are ways to do that without raising tax rates. There are ways to do it, I discussed at the very beginning of the meeting, making sure everybody pays their fair share. But while we're making certain that everybody pays their fair share, we have to get after excessive spending in the federal government. If we do that, and we get the additional revenue, and to the woman's point at the very beginning of the meeting, getting people back to work, because that's what's really going to, as I said, we're not going to pay off these annual budget deficits by raising taxes. Or as I said to the Chamber of Commerce, you could confiscate every single dollar of taxable income of every millionaire, billionaire in the United States, and we still can't close the budget deficit. We have to get people back to work. And if I cast a vote, any vote on the floor of the House of Representatives on your behalf that is not designed to some pro-growth policy to permit people to get back to work, I'm not doing my job on your behalf. That's what I'm thinking about. So, you know, Rick, it's a good point. You and I have talked about it privately. I appreciate you bringing it out. It's part of the important discussion. Yes, sir.
I have a suggestion that we could help a lot with the deficit. How much super billions of dollars are spent every year on foreign aid to over 150 different countries in this world, one of which is China, who already owns the United States. Let's throw out
okay.
this foreign aid.
As I said,
throw it out.
I am going to, I'm going to stick around at the close of this meeting for as long as you want me to. But what I'll do is I'll sort of end this public discussion sort of on the same note that we started. At the very beginning of my remarks, I said the first vote I cast on your behalf was to eliminate earmarks, sometimes referred to as pork barrel spending. That was proud to cast that vote. If I had a projector in front of me, I would show you a slide, sir, that shows the federal budget and all federal spending. And out of this pie chart, there's a small sliver that is attributed to foreign aid and earmarks. And even though it's small, it does not mean it's not important. Because small piece by small piece by small, all of a sudden it starts adding up to a bigger piece of the pie. But the truth is, if you eliminated all earmarks, which we did, and all foreign aid, it's a small number. Now, I think we need to be very, very judicious in the way we spend our money, whether it's for programs, for our folks, for our citizens at home, or the way we spend money abroad, whether it's on behalf of military men and women, or what the State Department refers to as foreign aid. There's a bill that I've been taking a look at that says to countries that ask us for foreign aid, if you vote against the United States of America more than 50% of the time in the United Nations, you get no foreign aid. You think I should sponsor that bill?
Yes.
How many people think I should sponsor it? Listen, I appreciate you coming tonight. This was very helpful to me. I will stick around. There's somebody, who's the fellow from Silver Creek Athletics? There he is, right there. We'll keep the lights on for a little bit. I want to thank the Athletic Association for hosting us tonight. It was very kind. I hope you'll be able to come back soon. Thanks for coming.